And in those days shall men seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee from them. Revelation 9, verse 6. Men groan to shed this mortal cloak, and yet cannot die, for death is but a shadow of your own imaginal act. You see the world as a tomb, this skull wherein you lay buried under linen clothes of flesh, but when you consciously imagine yourself risen, death has no track to follow. You have assumed a state beyond the grave, and the chord struck in your heart finds no sympathetic chord in death's empty hall. Thus, death flees from you. Revelation speaks of a time when all men will turn inward in desperation, crying, "Let me die." Yet they clutch the body and fear its loss, so death cannot claim them. They still identify with the linen and napkin, the body and its afterbirth, so they cannot enter the new birth. To die is simply to be reborn, to take off the corpse of flesh and awaken in the youth called David, the sum of all generations fused into one. When you refuse to identify with that burial shroud, you rise as the imaginal I am, the Lord whose will is always done. In that day, your world will mirror your deathless assumption. No plague, no sword, no hunger can touch one who never entered death, for death is nothing but a resonance in the world echoing your own inner fear. Persist in the consciousness of the living Christ, your own human imagination, and the world will rearrange itself to that single chord. Death shall be nowhere to be found. Let your heart dwell on the vision of your own resurrection. See yourself cast off the garment of mortality, the napkin of the womb forever rolled aside. In that steadfast assumption, you discover that the Lord has never released you to death. You are David, eternally young, eternally doing the Father's will, which is simply your own imaginal decree. Death, having no chord to answer, vanishes. Revelation 9:6 describes two inner states in succession. First, a deep despair or crisis of identity. Men seek death, which is the soul's way of saying, I can no longer live in this state of consciousness. Second, an unconscious resistance to real change. Death shall flee, showing that until we shift our imagining, the old self will not let go. In other words, we want relief from our suffering, but cling to the familiar identity that created that suffering. Every life crisis is fed by an inner assumption. When you seek death, you are imagining an end to your current self-story. But you haven't truly assumed the new life you long for, so your outer world continues mirroring your inner resistance. Death flees, and the crisis persists. The remedy is to imagine the new state as already real. That creative act within you vibrates outwards, and reality reorganizes itself in sympathetic response. This verse reveals that you are the cause and the witness of your world. You possess the power to shift from self-destruction into self-renewal by consciously assuming a victorious, joyful identity. Your human imagination is the very I am that brings form into being. When you persist in the feeling of your desired state, you become the Lord of your own experience, just as ancient scripture implies. You command your David, your outer world, to do your will. Begin by becoming deeply aware of those moments when a sense of crisis arises, when any thought of escape or surrender whispers of seeking death within your mind. As soon as you notice this inner turmoil, gently choose the experience you most desire, whether it be peace, purpose, or joy, and firmly declare that new inner state as your own. From there, allow your imagination to bring this chosen reality to life. See it vividly, feel it fully, and live it inwardly as though it has already been accomplished. Maintain this practice every day, paying particular attention during the stillness of early morning or in any quiet pause, for these are the times when your inner work is most potent. Over time, you will begin to observe subtle outer confirmations, small synchronicities, fresh ideas, even unexpected help that let you know your imagined state is taking shape in the world. When death flees, it simply reveals that the old identity cannot coexist with the new self you are sustaining in your mind. By mastering this inward act of assuming and persisting in the state you desire, you unlock the divine creative power within. The very same power that symbolically raised the dead now brings your own reality to life.